Just eat less is the worst advice that you can apply to yourself for weight loss. It goes more than that. It's not just eating less is going to lead to you being able to lose weight. Yes, calorie deficit equals weight loss, but how do you get there? It's simply not just telling someone that you can go to New York to LA, but what is the best route to get there? You got to apply that to yourself within your weight loss. And the big thing that plays a role in that is hunger versus appetite. I know how critical this is because I play a huge role in helping my clients understand this practice to be able to lose the weight and keep it off. I'm Lee Agbohlah with LTAPerformance. In this video, you will understand hunger versus appetite and what to do to help yourself be able to lose the weight and keep the weight off. If you listen to what I tell you in this video, this will create the habits you need to be successful. Now, hunger is the need to eat and appetite is the desire to eat. So the need to eat will tell you yourself to eat what's going to help yourself, fuel yourself to satisfy that. Your desire to eat is going to tell you what is the most tastiest, delicious thing to eat, i.e. maybe a cookie is your appetite, and your physiological need to eat will eat what's in front of it, like a plate of chicken and broccoli. Now we know how this is going to not be as simple as that for yourself. So let's really talk about what you can do to help yourself. Now first, understand when it comes to appetite, you have to help yourself because appetite is really the enemy. Your appetite is the enemy because it will get yourself to do stuff that you're not supposed to do. Just like if you're a compulsive buyer, you understand that if you go in certain places with your credit card, you might run it up because you can't stop yourself to do it. Well, you have to do this within controlling your eating. So the first thing that is going to play a big role is cleaning up your pantry. What you have in your home is an environment that will play the biggest role in your weight loss. Because when you're at home, you're going to eat what's available. In the days when we actually had to go out and hunt our food, it was difficult. It was a challenge that we had to do. Now, when you have the availability to have food that is at your disposal, it can be very difficult because you could eat up anything that's available in your house. So cleaning up your pantry is a great way to help yourself to control your appetite. If you have a dozen of donuts in your home and you're walking past it, eventually, even if you're trying to lose weight, you're gonna go for the donut. If you have cookies and you know where it's stashed, you're gonna do that. If you have chips, same thing. Now, I don't want you to understand that it's not about never having certain foods ever again, but when you are trying to help yourself lose weight, you have to really set yourself up for success. So cleaning out the pantry is one thing that I make my clients do, and it's one thing that I will do if I am making sure that I want to help myself be successful when I'm cutting body fat. Because if I have all this stuff at my disposal, candy, like what am I going to do? My appetite is going to force me to eat that. Even if I'm not hungry, the desire is there because you see it, you know where it's at, and just at certain times of what could be going on, you're going to start craving it based off of what's happening. So to help yourself, if you can clean out your pantry and keep the things in there that is going to keep your appetite to a lower desire, then you're going to really go for what you need when you're actually hungry. So you will be fine to eat the vegetables you know that you're supposed to eat, that you're not just going to store in the freezer and not touch. Or when you're meal prepping, you will go for the things that you prep because you're hungry. You're not going to have to go out and grab something to eat for takeout because you have what you need in front of you. This plays a huge role in being able to controlling your appetite because appetite is the enemy to your weight loss because you will desire other things. And as you start to lose more and more weight, your appetite only grows. So you really have to help yourself out that way. Secondly, when you understand within hunger that it is our need to eat, you still have to understand how hunger will play a role as well. Now we know appetite is a desire, but hunger, if you're just hungry, you're gonna go for what's available as well. So how do you help yourself to stick to what you're trying to focus on when you're eating better is to eat foods that help to lower your hunger. So eat things that are packed with nutrients and fuel to get yourself. It's the reason why when I'm coaching my clients, I said we need to start supremely fueling your body. Because if you're fueling your body correctly, then your hunger will be lower. So eating things that are high in protein, eating things that are high in fiber helps satiety. Satiety just means the length and time that you are satisfied where you don't need to eat because your hunger is in check. So eating these foods have proven that they help under satiety. So if you think about high protein, you can think of high animal sources. Chicken, fish, eggs, meat. These things will help yourself because they're high in protein to help yourself out. Things that are high in fiber. We're talking about vegetables, fruits, grains. These things help yourself be able to keep hunger in check, and also it fills your stomach up where you're not going to have to quickly go back to eating. Now, when you are just hungry, and if you're driving around before you're getting home, you have to stop and go through the drive-thru because you're just hungry at the time. You can't wait. But if you can eat foods because you packed a good lunch, or if you are eating out, you had a good lunch that was packed with these high protein, high fiber, this keeps you in check to stay on the path of your goals. But if you don't understand of packing foods in that are like they say, superfoods that are really going to give you yourself the energy you need and the nutrients to fuel yourself with having enough energy, you're going to be good. So to stop yourself from being hungry, you got to eat foods that are packed with this. This is why eating less is terrible advice, because if you think about eating less, you're usually just going to think about small portions or going without eating, and why that may lead to some success because yes, you'll get in a deficit to lose weight, but it's not sustainable because eventually as you start to lose weight, you're going to eventually have to fall in the trap that hunger will play. So you want to be able to understand this part of what you can do to help yourself. And lastly, to put this all together where how hunger versus appetite plays a role is get rid of the restrictive diets. The restrictive diets are falling into the trap of both hunger and for the appetite. For one, the restrictive diets will restrict the foods that you do desire. You won't have anything that you actually will want to eat when you have any restrictive diets. You may tell yourself over time that I'm cool with this and it's working because you're just relying on willpower. Willpower alone won't help yourself be able to create the habits you need, because while you may even get to losing weight, if you get to that point and break past, you're just that disciplined of a person, which is really good that you have the discipline. But what happens when you just go back to before? Because if that's not a lifestyle for yourself, now you're getting more weight than you originally lost, in which more than 90% of people fall into that trap within 2 years. So you have to understand within that part, if you just go to the restrictive part, you're taking away the things that you desire. I believe in being able to still enjoy some of those foods you want. If you're making sure that you're eating enough of the right foods, then it will balance itself out. But when you go to a restricted diet, you're taking that away from yourself. And then when it comes to the hunger part, as many of these restricted diets don't have enough energy and fuel for yourself, because it goes on just the principle of calorie deficit, which is what you have to do. But if you're not eating enough, then your hunger, eventually over time, you won't be able to win that battle. So it's going against the appetite and go against the hunger. So that's why restrictive diets have proven over time to not work. Think about how many diets you have tried. Think about how many diets that your friend has tried. Think about your spouse, how many diets they have tried, and you've seen them not have success. So you have to get that part to understand that if I don't go to a restricted diet and I focus on the habits I need, I'll be able to be successful. I don't need to do these things. You have to put this in part of understanding it's just about eating more of the right foods, being able still to enjoy myself by staying balanced, but not putting the wrong foods in my home where I just have to see it over and over again, where eventually my appetite's going to win out. So if you can understand this and you can control of driving home just the habits that are going to help yourself, that's what's really going to help yourself out. So clean up the pantry, make sure you're eating more of the right foods you're supposed to so you can keep your hunger in check, and ditch the restrictive diets and focus on what do I need to do to eat better, and see how that will help yourself out. If you can do this, you'll be like the hundreds of clients that I've helped and my type of coaching, and you'll have the healthy lifestyle that you dream about. Has this been something that has stopped you in the past or where you need to get to? What is your biggest takeaway from this video? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe.